My name is Damon West.
He was a rising star, a Friday night hero in his Texas town.
I grew up in a giant melting pot of a city.
My parents raised us right.
2 brothers, Brandon and Grayson.
And I had a loving family and loving home.
And my mother was a saintly Christian woman.
His dad, the longtime sports writer at the Port Arthur News.
In 1971, he was the first sports writer to put a black athlete on the front page.
My dad and Jimmy Johnson being best friends. I would go to a lot of the games and hold his headphone cord on the sideline.
That's Damon celebrating. He was the golden child, a 3-year starter at Thomas Jefferson High School. He had it all. The media was there when he signed his football scholarship to North Texas.
Damon West throws to Coleman, caught it behind the line at about the 38, and that will be it.
That's the last play I ever played in college, y'all. My shoulder had a 3rd-degree separation. I never played college football again. When football was gone, and I filled my life up with cocaine, ecstasy, pills.
I went on to work in Congress. I worked for a guy running for president of the United States. I worked for one of the biggest Wall Street banks in the world to train to be a stockbroker.
It was there at that job that I was first introduced to the drug that would almost take my life. I smoked that drug one time. I'm up for 4 days, instantly hooked. I went from working on Wall Street to living on the streets of Dallas, man, sleeping on park benches, sleeping in alleyways.
To support his habit, Damon and his addict buddies started breaking into so many homes, police dubbed them the Uptown Burglars.
But on July 30th, 2008,
Flashbang grenade goes off in my face. A bright white light, loud noise, blows me back on the couch.
and when I came to, there's a SWAT team officer. His foot on my chest. He's got the barrel of an AR-15 stuck in my eye socket. Don't move! Don't move! His other partner comes in screaming, we got it. We got the Uptown Burglar.
Bang, bang, bang. Damon Joseph West, you are hereby sentenced to 65 years in prison.
Inmate West, number 158-5689. I'll never forget that number, y'all.
I remember hearing my mother gasp, and my dad can't talk. He's in stunned disbelief. So my mom did all the talking. She said, no gangs and no tattoos. She said, you come back as the man we raised, or don't you come back at all.
There was one guy, this old black guy named Mr. Jackson.
And Mr. Jackson, in his 60s, a seasoned convict.
And Mr. Jackson said, I'm gonna lace you up. I'm gonna tell you how you're gonna survive this. He said, first thing you need to know is prison is all about race. First couple months, you're gonna fight for your life. He said, you don't have to win all your fights, but you do have to fight all your fights. He said, the strongest man in prison always walks alone.
He said, look, I want you to imagine prison like a pot of boiling water.
He said, everything we put in boiling water is gonna be changed by the heat and the pressure in there. He said, I'm gonna put 3 things in that pot of boiling water and see how they respond. He said, if I throw a carrot in a pot of boiling water and boil a carrot, what happens? He said, that carrot went in hard. That atmosphere in prison turned that carrot soft. He said, if I put an egg in a pot of boiling water, what happens to the egg? He said, that egg had that hard outer shell, that soft liquid inside. He said, but prison changed that egg. Now that inside is hard. He said, Wes, if I take the smallest of these 3 things and throw that coffee bean in that pot of boiling water, now you got to change the name of the water to coffee. He said the coffee bean was the only thing that didn't let the atmosphere change it. It changed the atmosphere. He said, that's the only way you're going to survive. And I had to fight all the white gangs off. The Aryan Brotherhood, Aryan Circle, White Knights, the Woods. Then they sent the Crips, the Bloods, the Mandingo Warriors, Gangster Disciples. I probably got in 36 fights while I was in prison. And I lost 75% of them, y'all. But I won by showing up. I'm walking back to the pod off the rec yard, getting ready to go take a shower. This little essay named Carlos pulls me aside. He says, Wes, you go shower today? Oh, boy's coming for you, man. This dude is coming to rape me. How are you going to respond? I do everything he tells me to like a T. He pops that door open, I see that knife come through, and I rear back and I screamed, I hit this dude with everything I had. This dude shot out of that shower like, boom! He's on the ground, man, he's dropped his knife. I throw his bag down and I start beating this dude. 2 of his gang brothers fly up the stairs, man, he's a Mandingo warrior. They said, man, if you lay another hand on that dude, we'll toss you off the run. I grab my bag, man, go in my cell, close the door, slide up against the wall, start crying like a baby, man. That adrenaline is burning off. When I woke up, it was a new day. I never had to fight again the rest of the time I was there, y'all. I was able to free myself up, work on myself mentally, spiritually, emotionally, every day. I woke up every day and said, you know what? My mind, my body, and my soul is going to be exercised today somehow. I got in that chapel. Guess what I found in the chapel in prison? Other coffee beans. They were all hiding there, apparently. I got into recovery in prison, and I started getting the tools I needed to deal with my addiction. The secret to life is to serve others. On November 16th, 2015, parole lets me out, unheard of on a life sentence. I was going home, y'all. 7 years, 3 months, I walk out of prison. My parents are waiting out there in the parking lot. We go out there and we hug and we're crying, and I stop it short. I said, y'all, let's get in the car, let's go before they change their minds. I got with a couple of guys back home, the assistant chief in the DA's office.
I go around telling the coffee bean story, and it's called on in college football programs all over the country, in corporations and schools.
And bring this message, this warning, and a message of hope.
What he has done with his life, it's impressive. It really is. You can really see the rehabilitation in him.
This is what he wants to say. Say yes! Say yes!
Life is going to knock you down. Life's going to hit you with something. You're going to have to make a choice. How do you get back up and respond? I've got a call to action to you, and that call to action is to go out and be a coffee bean.